This is the Loop 2020, brought to you by Yo-Yo Factory. Developed over a 2-year period after researching a century of innovations in looping designs, we gathered input from the world's top looping experts, including 4-time world yo-yo champion Shu Takada. The Loop 2020 has been tested by Shu Takada in the heat of battle through 2 world championships and claimed world titles in both contests. The idea behind the Loop 2020 is control. The Loop 2020 gives the player control over the 3 elements of a competition-level looping yo-yo: response, spin time, and loop angle. Innovations of the past had adjustability, but a single change would bring with it undesired additional changes. The Loop 2020 allows for changes over the individual looping behaviors. In this tutorial, we will show you how to get the perfect looping setup to adjust for looping angle, looping speed, and spin time to complement your style and speed of play to achieve the perfect setting for you. We will also help give you insight into troubleshooting when your loops get out of shape. Ultimately, we will help you in your search for the perfect loop. But remember that even the perfect setup must be combined with practice to help form your muscle memory and reaction time. Before we tackle adjusting your Loop 2020, we need to discuss a couple of critical things. Let's start with choosing the correct string. String comes in different materials and thicknesses. Believe it or not, the humidity in the air or even the dye or colorant can affect the string thickness. While there are a multitude of aftermarket and boutique string choices, let's focus on the string included with your Loop 2020. This is Type 6 polyfluorescent green. Let's call it a thick 6 when compared to a thin 6 like Type 6 poly white. You will notice that your loop angle goes up with the poly white and downwards with the fluoro green. If you choose a thick Type 8 string, your loops will angle down severely, but if you speed up your loops with your reaction time, you can get the loop angle to climb back up. Now let's discuss string length. The length of the string can affect your looping speed and angle. If you cut your string too short, your loops will angle up and fast. If your string is too long, your loops will angle down and slow. Adjust your muscle memory and reaction time, and the faster you loop, the angle will climb back up. A gunky, dirty bearing will cause a round loop shape and reduce spin time. You will need to clean your bearings often if you feel the performance changing. We recommend you find a small glass jar that seals tight and some rubbing alcohol. Allow the bearing to sit for 20 minutes submerged in the alcohol. Remove the bearing and spin it dry. Alcohol is a poor lubricant, so allow it to evaporate fully before reinstalling back in the Loop 2020. Properly lubing your bearing is critical to getting the Loop 2020 to perform correctly. World Yo-Yo champion Shu Takada lubes his Loop 2020 in a very unique way. See the link in our video description to learn his method. We recommend the following method to achieve the most reliable performance while you are mastering your personal technique. First, start with 1 drop of thin lube on the side of the bearing for good spin time. Then seal that drop in with a single drop of thick lube. The thick lube also helps the bearing to have a viscous coupling with the spacers and acts as an additional response mechanism, enhancing loop response and eliminating hesitation at the end of the string. If no lube is used, the Loop 2020 may hesitate at the end of the string with a pause or a clunk, and also loop at an upwards angle. This is a great setup for performing rap-style tricks. If you do the thin lube or a combo of thin and thick lube, the loop will angle down. This could be desirable in combination with a shorter string if you want to loop really fast. Remember, if your bearing is too full of thick lube or accumulated string fibers from extended periods of play, the loop shape will become round and it's time to clean the bearing again and start over with your lube maintenance routine. Choosing the right spacer is pretty easy. The black spacers tend to loop up with a small hesitation, White spacers loop horizontally and the red spacers loop downwards without hesitation. You can also experiment with one black spacer and one white spacer, or one white spacer and one red spacer to make micro adjustments. Choose the number 1 starburst if you want a little more spin time and less responsiveness. Choose number 2 starburst for medium response and medium spin time. Choose number 3 starburst for maximum response. You can also try combinations of a 1 and a 2 or a 2 and a 3 for micro adjustments. Changing axles is absolutely the last change you may want to make. The axles make really big changes. A number 1 axle creates a very large gap which will allow for long spin times, but also cause a very slow flip in your loop. You will probably need a thick Type 8 cotton string with this axle choice. This could be a good setup when you are first beginning or enjoy slow loops with long strings. Putting in a number 3 axle will close the gap, reduce spin time, and cause a very rapid flip in your loop. You will need to have perfected your looping technique and have razor-sharp reaction time to take advantage of this setting. The Loop 2020 was designed from a clean sheet of paper to accommodate all of the wish list of the top-level players. Looping yo-yo performances look spectacular at night. The Loop 2020 has a reliable LED light that you can turn on and off with the included Yo-Yo Factory hex key, or you can simply use the knot in your finger loop. Remove the 3 screws on the side of your Loop 2020 and tap the yo-yo on the table to release the lens. Insert the LED lens and make sure you have aligned the holes in the lens with the holes in the yo-yo body. Screw the 3 screws back in place firmly, but not too tight, otherwise you will strip the plastic and need to replace the starburst to get it back to original condition again. The Loop 2020 was designed from the beginning to have LED lenses. The weight is basically the same with or without the LED system. Pro-level players prefer a weight of around 52 grams for their looping yo-yos. That allows for the best balance between long spin times and least strain on your finger during long looping sessions. There are many methods and setups for the Loop 2020. The methods taught here provide an excellent starting point on your journey to mastering 2A style tricks. We have many more accessories planned for the Loop 2020. Keep checking yoyofactory.com for updates on product releases. Special thanks to Shu Takata, John Ando, Shackler, and of course Patrick Mitchell for all of their help in creating this tutorial.